Welcome to another episode of Bargain Saturdays. And I suppose it has been a while, but I figured, we can knock out this collection really fast tonight. And I figured we'd start with the worst of the bunch. Snowflake, the White Gorilla. A film that just sucks. I think part of the problem is that there's stuff that just gets lost when you're doing translations for foreign films. And then there's just sins that get committed by the film that just really get underneath my skin. For starters, you have a film that has CGI characters, like obviously with Snowflake and stuff on the box art here, but they're interacting with live-action actors. I mean, they're interacting with real people, which means they clash horribly with them and look terribly fake. So you're like, gosh darn it, movie, you can't do that. If you're going to have CGI characters interacting with real people, you have to have a really convincing CGI effect. So convincing I'm not going to think it's fake and therefore get distracted when people are crying about, Snowflake and all this, that, and the other thing involving these CGI characters, because it just doesn't matter to me, because I'm like, oh, they're crying over a cartoon character. And cartoon characters can't die unless, it's Who Framed Roger Rabbit or something, where you got the dip. Ugh, gosh darn it. Film makes me think of a much better film. Maybe one of these days I'll find a copy of that film for cheap. Otherwise, I might have to go digging into my parents' collection, because I'm sure they have a DVD copy of it. I know there's an old VHS tape floating around, but I'm not sure how reliable that one would be. We have some degradation on a few VHS tapes already, like the old Michael Keaton Batman film. The one before Batman Returns, or whatever it was, with the penguin. The good one, that's just called Batman. The other problem is that the film dubs over the foreign actors with American actors. So you have Christopher Lloyd's voice coming out of someone else's mouth, and it just sounds terribly off-putting and distracting. So you're like, that's not Christopher Lloyd. I'd recognize that voice. It's Doc Brown. Like seriously? That's one of the other things that just bugs me. It's one of the things that bugged me the most about Ultraman Tigo when I used to watch it, which is why I only watched a couple episodes, then shelved it, never watched it again, because I was like, I can't stand having these American voices coming out of people that obviously aren't American and wouldn't sound like an American. It's very distracting, and honestly, if I was going to pick, I'd say if you're going to bring a film like this over, just add subtitles. Sure, it means I'd have to read words on the screen, but at least then I wouldn't be distracted by how the voices don't sound right. It's just something that really grates on my nerves. I mean, I'm sure some people are more okay with it than others, but I just can't stand it. So yeah, you can argue my hatred of this film isn't that well deserved, but I'm going to stand by it. Snowflake's a very forgettable and skippable film, whose only real standout features are the parts that I hate the most. Otherwise, it's a pretty generic film, about accepting yourself and being true to yourself, that sort of thing. So there's not that much to it as far as the plot's concerned, and there's much better films that cover those sorts of topics anyway, so why would you want to watch this cheap piece of junk when you can watch something better? So next time, then. See ya.
Hey, what's with all the gloom and doom? It's okay. I promise there is absolutely no reason to be afraid.